My name is Mollen Mukuze, the Managing Director of Brainwatch Chartered Accountants. Today in the studio, I'm glad I'm joined by Mr. Goodnews Cadogan. Welcome to Brainwatch Business Hub.
Thank you very much, Mollen. I feel welcome here.
Thank you very much. Just a way of introduction to our viewers, Mr. Goodnews Cadogan is a seasoned holistic coach. What does that mean?
Wow. The word is a very simple word around being holistic. We cover all bases.
Okay.
As coaches, we look at the aspect of self-mastery, the aspect of relational mastery, the aspect of work mastery, and also mastering the philosophy and the belief system that drives all these things. That's why we are calling ourselves holistic coaches.
Okay, so from what you are explaining, you are looking at an entrepreneur in four aspects: me, relation, technical, or the work, like
the
what
work
you are
itself,
saying.
yes.
How important is the me? What is the me? Can you give some meat there?
The
What
me
do you
is
mean
the
there?
driver
Yeah.
of everything. Without the me, there is no we, there is no work, and there is no company.
Oh, okay.
So we look very much inside the entrepreneur. We have got a number of assessments that we use to check what is it that the entrepreneur is made of, so that in the end, we are able to say there is either a concentration or a focus on the use of the head intelligence that looks at the logic and the kind of logical aspect of thinking. The second one is more about the heart, the emotional and the engagement way in which we engage each other as human beings. And the third one is about the intuition, it's about the body. So by aligning the head, the heart, and the body, we are able to help the entrepreneur to be the best that they can be.
Okay, so in this case, you are saying the core, before you look at the we, the core is understanding yourself as a leader, understand yourself as an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
How does that help that entrepreneur to also look at the other facets that we are talking about?
Because you cannot give to another what you do not have.
Interesting.
So if I don't know myself, it becomes very difficult for me as an entrepreneur to even know the next person and even understand the aspects of work and the world that I live in. So by knowing self and mastering self, we are giving power to the business. Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's very, very interesting, because I think what I've seen, and also through maybe the coaching that I did with you, there are aspects of me that I didn't understand, as yourself. So sometimes you wonder, why do you do other things? Because you haven't yet looked deeply in yourself to understand yourself before you even understand the other people that surrounds you.
Definitely.
Yeah. Now you can talk about the other aspects now. Or you have touched on the me and the importance of that, and can you touch on the other three aspects?
The relational aspect of business through the entrepreneur is that the entrepreneur gets to know how to relate with others in a very specific kind of way. The famous rule around how we relate with other people is called the golden rule. They say you must treat people the way you want to be treated.
Not the way I want to treat that I want to be treated.
So that's what is
that
popular
I want to
today.
Be treated. Okay.
Yes, that's the popular rule.
Yeah.
But we are saying that is not good enough. The platinum rule says treat other people the way they want to be treated.
Wow.
And you can't be able to easily treat people the way they want to be treated if you don't know how they want to be treated.
Okay.
That means now, as coaches, we help the entrepreneur to be able to deal better with other people because they take a keen interest in what the other person is, who the other person is, and what the other person wants. And by using science, we are able then to help the entrepreneur to use predictive analysis that gives two major aspects of the people that are on their team. The assessment will give us things like, for example, the thinking patterns of the person that they're working with. the emotional patterns of the person that they're working with, and also the intuitive and engagement patterns of the person that they're working with. And because of that, they're able to master and shape their own being so that they can interact in a faceted kind of way, so that they can get the best out of that person for the benefit of the business.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so from what you are saying now, when you talk about relation, I've understood myself, so I need now to understand how do I relate
to other
to
people.
the other people.
Yes.
So do this include your customers, or you looking at people that are very close to the organization, or who are we looking at in the
It's different levels of relationships.
Okay.
The first part deals with the team.
Okay.
It's about, we conduct proper assessments of each of the team members, and we give a holistic picture of how the team looks like according to the models that we use. And we are able to see how the team is distributed on a framework of predictable behavior patterns that allow us to help the entrepreneur to know that, this is how my team is shaped. Therefore, when I deal with person A, this is how I need to engage them so that I can get the best out of them. But as a team, we may have a position on the framework that is not occupied, and we may take a person that is closest aligned to that position to actually perform that position for the benefit of the team. So that's how mastering relationship works, because it means then there will be less conflict in the team, and then also it means there will be more harmony in the team. And the team knows two things that are sort of overlooked. They know how to love each other, and they know how to fight for the benefit of the business.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's very interesting, to the extent that you can look into deep into the team, because I know as entrepreneur, those are the least things that you think of about. You think about getting that deal,
cash, money, all of those
but
things.
sometimes it gives a lot of stress on how do you maneuver, because maybe of the lack of the understanding thereof.
And the excuse that usually comes when we have got the power of leadership is that they don't understand.
Yes, they don't understand me.
They are not smart enough.
Yeah.
They are not emotive enough, and they don't understand the world. Therefore, that's why I'm struggling to deal with them.
Yeah.
Only to find out I'm the one as a leader who does not understand my people on the team. That is why then the relationships on teams become as bad as they are.
Yeah.
83% of failures of businesses and projects, one single reason, the lack of harmony in teams.
Yeah. So I can actually relate to say, sometimes the hardest, maybe getting clients is not really hard, but managing people
is the most difficult one.
Is the most difficult one.
So by helping the entrepreneur client, we help them to be able to deal with their people. And because they master relationships, they are able then to transpose that mastery into how they deal with customers, how they deal with suppliers, how they deal with government compliance organizations, how they deal with industry organizations. So the whole aspect of their world is driven by, one, self-mastery, and secondly, the mastery of relationships. And then we come to the third aspect, which then is the mastery of the work itself. We help the entrepreneur to master the work. And the work is divided into probably three, just for the sake of simplicity.
Okay.
There's the strategic aspect of driving your business. It's very important to help the entrepreneur to be able to do this. There is the technical aspect of the work that the entrepreneur has to master. And lastly is the operational aspect.
Okay.
And the time horizons sort of increase or decrease as you look up. So from a strategic aspect, it's more longer view of time. From a technical aspect, it's more of a medium kind of view. And then from an operational perspective, it's the day-to-day managing of the business. So by helping the entrepreneur to do all of these things on a foundation of a predictable value system, it becomes great, because now they get to master the worldview.
Okay.
Their worldview is ever changing, but also at the same time is stable. They're not blowing hot and cold on the major things that drive their business.
Yeah.
They are predictable, they give predictable answers, whilst at the same time they are dynamic in response to the changes in the environment, in the world that they operate in.
Okay, so when you say tactical, I was thinking of the technical aspect that the business actually need, but you're talking about three core aspects. Because sometimes when you are growing business, depending on the level, sometimes you live for now and look at what is happening now. But in your aspects, in the view that you're talking about, you look at strategic.
Yes. Into the future.
Into the future. How is it,
yes,
and what you need to do to get to that, and actually to start thinking around that.
Exactly, and maneuvering some of the variables that will allow you in the next 12 to 18 months to shift your business in a particular direction.
Yeah.
And now comes in some of the expertise that comes from a company like yours, Brainmore.
Yeah.
You are able to then bring in an accountant to help you with a very simple thing like a cash flow analysis, like a forecasting, like budgeting. All of those things, they fit into the both the tactical aspect of the business and also the strategic aspect of the business.
Okay.
You decide how much cash you want to hold, how much investments you want to get into, how much expansion do you want to put into the business. All of these things through a collaborative framework between a multidisciplinary team, we are able to then, as coaches, to direct the entrepreneur to have a very good business that will be successful.
Okay, I can see why you said holistic coaching, because we spoke about the self-mastery.
Yes.
You also spoke about relational. Now you were explaining the tactical.
The work part.
The work part.
Yes.
But what is the fourth one?
The fourth one is the worldview.
Okay.
Because if you don't have a worldview, it's easy for you as an entrepreneur to fall for anything.
Wow.
I can make just one silly example. How people sometimes want to make short-term investments that have got outrageous kind of returns. There were things like Triple M that came and all sorts of other pyramid schemes. When you have a worldview that is really grounded, it becomes difficult for you to be misled by those kind of pyramid schemes, because you have a solid belief system that allows you to work within certain boundaries and to drive your business according to certain ethical considerations. So those are the kind of things that actually help the entrepreneur to stay on the straight and narrow, because they have got predictable beliefs.
Okay.
Yes.
So in there, when you're talking about the worldview, you'll be looking into what is my core belief.
Exactly.
What is it that you stand for, and what are your parameters around, so that you can be able to sift things as they go when you're running the business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those beliefs, they sit in an array of subject matters.
Yeah.
It could be, what is your investment strategy? It could be, who do you associate with? It could be, in which geographic areas do you do business? It could be, what kind of people do I make to be my friends? A very simple thing that you find across the world.
Yeah.
Yes, it has been popularized on the continent, the whole issue of corruption and state capture. But it is everywhere.
Yeah.
But the only reason that makes it easy for entrepreneurs to fall into the trap of being involved in things like that is because they don't have clarity on their belief system.
Okay.
So when a person comes into their life, they are not able to evaluate them and see whether they fit into their belief system.
Yeah.
And before you know it, they've gotten into a scheme that caused them either to be disbarred or to be removed from professional bodies, or even to go to jail as a result of whom they associate with.
Sure, that's something that is quite important, because when you are sitting as an entrepreneur, sometimes you don't really look at those four aspects that we just spoke about. Just tell me in briefly, maybe, why is it important for an entrepreneur, like because you've been coaching a lot of people,
Yes.
why is it important, and what are the pitfalls that you have seen that entrepreneurs have fallen into and not really pushing their business to the next level? Maybe the business is now at one level, or it's not
Yes.
growing, or what are those pitfalls?
Most of the pitfalls sit in those 4 areas.
Yeah.
We call them blind spots.
Oh.
They could be blind spots at the level of me, where I do not know how I am failing to conceptualize, to even understand that I'm failing.
Oh. Okay.
By failing to notice
yeah.
that I'm failing,
yeah.
I actually prevent myself from improving.
Yeah.
So by knowing my blind spots at the level of the person, it becomes easier for me to set a developmental plan.
Okay.
So at the level of me, we usually set priorities and say, these top 3 blind spots are the ones that are holding you back. Let's work on these for the next 18 months. And then I see the business person flourishing like nobody's business, and they capture the market. They have got better relationships with their teams. They've got better relationships with even the product or the service that they actually produce. At the level of relationships, how they are treating people in their business, we look for blind spots there. We look at how they are set up in their teams, and also how they mitigate against the risk of derailment. So derailment is when a person just falls off the bus and you don't know what to do with them, but you have to fire them.
Yeah.
Or they decide to leave, and they could be a critical skill that your business really needs. And then at the level of work, haphazard planning, poor implementation, lack of monitoring and evaluation mechanisms to see the success or failure of the business. Those are the things that make the business to fail. And then lastly, this whole thing of connecting with people that they shouldn't.
Okay.
That is where the biggest downfall comes from.
Yeah.
Because just one little connection, one little deal that they make with the wrong person or wrong company or wrong crowd can bring the business down to its knees.
That's something else. So I'm just thinking, sometimes when you are starting as a small business or when you're growing, you just think everyone should be my client.
Exactly.
But without sifting to your core belief, it can be a huge blind spot.
Exactly.
That actually affect the business.
Yeah.
Wow. I hope the viewers are really understanding and put that into perspective as you're actually building your business. Just to sum up, someone who is watching right now might be wondering, where do I start? Where do they start? To start on this journey, where do they start?
We're going to share the details of our organization in terms of how they can get hold of us.
Yeah.
The first thing is to actually set up an appointment with one of our coaches. And that first appointment is actually a non-billable appointment.
Okay.
We don't bill our clients for the first appointment. And it is more like an engagement kind of exercise. We're searching for a few things. We're searching for fit, because we practice what we preach.
Okay.
So if there is no fit between us as a coach,
yeah,
or one of our coaches and that particular potential client,
yeah,
we then can that kind of prospect and find another coach that will be fitting better. So in that conversation, really, it's not even about the coach interviewing the entrepreneur. It's the entrepreneur interviewing the coach, finding out whether the coach can deliver on these 4 things that we mentioned.
Yeah.
And then after that, there is a kind of an offer that we give. And that offer is more like a proposal to say, this is what we've picked up. These are the things that we think, we don't know as yet, but at a preliminary level, we think that these are the weak points.
Yeah.
We are going to deploy this kind of assessment or that kind of assessment. And as a result of this, we'll give you a firm offer of what the next 18 months to 24 months looks like.
Okay.
We don't do the fly-by-night 6 months or 6 sessions kind of approach to coaching. We're in it for the long haul, and we help entrepreneurs to develop at least for 18 to 24 months.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that. To our viewers, Brainmore as your accountability partners, it is our duty and responsibility to ensure that we look after businesses. That's why we actually bring in different people into the studio to talk about different critical things that affect the running of our business and that actually affect the growth of business. Thank you very much. I hope everyone enjoyed this conversation. If you did, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on the future premium content that we continuously share on this platform. Thank you.